What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3. It's time for everyone to wake up because this game, after 50 minutes of delay, is actually going to be played. Yes, that's right. Insidious were in a game, and then Invasion were in a game, both in different leagues. It was MPGL and Synergy League, and then it was just taking a whole lot of time to remake the lobby. It was just a giant mess. This is going to be the quarterfinals of Division 1, so that means that loser is going to lose. That's it. But they're still in Division 1. Winner goes on to face First Departure, but Invasion just got done mopping the floor with First Departure in their last game, and FD haven't been looking necessarily up to snuff, so it should be a kind of easy semifinal. I think this match is going to be a lot harder for both teams, honestly. But this is a best of 3, and this is a game 1, so hopefully this is a good one, as both teams... Actually, Insidious just came off of a loss. They threw pretty hard in their last game, but Invasion coming off a really big win, so they have got to feel pretty good and have a little bit of momentum. Here on HeflaTV 2, I'm going to be your only caster for today. I am Mike Loris, and let's have some fun with this game, guys, because no other caster is here to judge us, and we're just going to be enjoying the games. Because that's what Dota is supposed to be about, just enjoying the games. Invasion, they're going to open up their draft with Centaur and Viper. Can't really go wrong with these two heroes. Centaur first pick is something that we've been seeing quite a bit more nowadays. He is gaining popularity, which is hard to believe considering how popular he was just in 0.81, but still he is now first pick material just because he does his job so well. And his job, get the Blink Dagger, and even before getting the Blink Dagger, just be super aggressive. Get the Hoof Stomp Double Edge, and 9 times out of 10, if you land that combo on a hero when Double Edge is maxed out and everyone's like level 7-ish, they're probably going to die. It seems pretty simple to make that happen. And then Viper, the lane dominator, once again is going to be seen, and he's another hero that does his job just so well. And Insidious, wow. Now Skywrath Mage is another one of those heroes. He just does his job very well, but DK is a hero that I did not expect from them, at least not until the last pick. It is a hero that you could wait a very long time to pick up, just because he may be banned if you choreograph to the enemy that you are going for a very heavy pushing lineup and you need a core hero still. But most of the time, you're going to be allowed to actually get the DK if you want to get him later on. That being said, DK is the type of hero that you can build around. Dragon Knight does offer your team a really bulky front liner, as well as the fact that he gives your team a lot of pushing power. With those two together, usually you want to go for a little bit more of an aggressive team push play, but they actually just ban out the Jakiro, which is a good hero. It would have been a nice hero for Invasion for sure, but it would have been an even better hero for Insidious. The Jakiro and the Dragon Knight, 2.5 dragons, would have been really sweet at taking down towers. Pop the corrosive the green dragon and then start applying that liquid fire, and towers are going to be dropping left and right, but instead Insidious decide to target the supports, happy with the fact that they have a Skywrath Mage and their support lineup is going to be pretty solid no matter what. Invasion are going to need 2 more supports. This is just a pretty standard play. Whenever you see a team pick up 2 cores right off the bat, most of the time they're going to get these supports banned out from them moving forward. We see Bristleback as well as Sniper being banned out from Invasion, or by Invasion rather. Sniper is actually an understandable ban here. DK and Sniper means you're going to have a lot of pushing power. That's very safe, especially Sniper's Shrapnel. You could throw that Shrapnel from a million miles away and then no one could do anything about it. Even if there is a blinking Centaur, odds are he's not going to catch your Sniper as long as you're playing cautiously. And then DK, kind of the same thing. He's tanky enough to just walk up and apply some poison and then walk back, and then once the poison's done, you keep on applying that poison until the tower's dead. I don't know if Insidious were going to go for that, but it was, I suppose, a possibility, and it would have fit into their lineup. So the ban, although it is kind of weird, is logical, and it makes sense. Bristleback as well, it's another hero that is just super disruptive on the front lines, and DK Bristleback, those frontliners, is really hard to crack. I mean, even though Centaur and Viper have some pretty good damage, the bulkiness of those 2 heroes is nothing to be underestimated. And then Invasion going to go with a Mirana as their third. Again, can't really go wrong with the Mirana, jack of all trades for sure. Most likely will be played as a support, as lots of the setup heroes are still in the pool. So if they want to go for Bane, that's fine. If they want to go for Shadow Demon, that might be a little bit better. Doesn't really matter in the long run. It's going to be Mirana picked up for Invasion. It's going to give them another handy stun and a decent follow-up later on. Once Centaur gets his blink, Mirana should be able to land those arrows. And if you get the Shadow Demon this early, then you're going to be landing arrows a lot sooner. So the opening for Invasion has a pretty good roaming combination in the Mirana as well as Shadow Demon. Insidious still looking for one of their supports of their own. With the Nature's Prophet now picked up, it looks like they are going to go for a little bit more of a push-heavy comp, and again, that kind of makes the Jakiro ban a little bit questionable. They would have loved to have that hero in their lineup. Jakiro Skywrath Mage, not exactly the best combination. You don't have that much setup there. You have a lot of damage, a lot of dots. And the amplification of Ancient Seal is really useful when you are talking about the sustained magic damage output of Jakiro. But it's really the pushing that they're going to go for, and it would have helped them so much. Now, there are other pushing heroes that they could go for. Something like a Enchantress or an Enigma would benefit in Insidious quite a bit, in that they will be able to take down towers regardless. And then Skywrath Mage is going to be holding down the fort as pretty much the only support, which is sometimes seen, especially when you pick up an Enigma. So I think an Enigma won't be terrible for Insidious here, as they will have Skywrath Mage to pressure back Centaur, and whoever's in that top lane is going to be more or less having a good time. Of course, when you do that, you're kind of sacrificing your own potential. Skywrath Mage by himself can't really get any kills and really needs another support and another hero in order to solidify those kills. Nature's Prophet might be able to help out a little bit, but seems unlikely, especially when you're dealing with Shadow Demon and a tanky Centaur. So probably is going to be a little bit more of a roam-less game from Insidious, as they just try to get their levels up in the DK, try to get some farm in Nature's Prophet, and then if it is going to be an Enigma pick, try to get farm on the Enigma, pick him up his mechanism, and then once that happens, go for that Doom push. That Invasion, quite frankly, can't stop, because Invasion don't actually have that much AoE. They'll have Shadow Poison, they'll have ways of drawing the creep aggro off, but actually clearing the Nature's Prophet's treants and getting to the back end to deal with the Dragon Knight who's in his dragon form, that's a really tall order for Invasion. They need someone who could start those fights, and they do still need another core. I don't know if they want to go for something like a Clockwork. Something like a Storm Spirit might be a little bit better than just getting close, but Insidious, yeah, they're going to go for a Juggernaut. So this is most likely going to be a support Juggernaut. It is possible that it's core, I suppose. Juggernaut, Skywrath Mage, one other hero, it's not terrible. But either way, they'll have Healing Ward, and really that's what they want. Get this percentage base healing up. I realize that you can't see that because the HUD is blocking it perfectly, but we got 5% max healing per second. It's realistically going to be at, let's say, 3%. And when you have that healing applied to the tanky DK, to the Nature's Prophet treants, suddenly nothing is really dying from Insidious. Whether that's a support Juggernaut or not ultimately doesn't matter, because they will have a couple of points in that healing ward. And if it is a support Juggernaut, then Insidious opened the door for something like a Lone Druid, which is a fantastic combination with Juggernaut. It works very well with Nature's Prophet DK as well, and actually is just a good enough pick that I think Invasion might want to consider banning that one out. The synergy between Insidious with the Lone Druid pickup is just way too high. You get too many summons, too many bulky things that you have to deal with, And then getting to the back lines in order to get the Skywrath Mage and Nature's Prophet just becomes so much more difficult unless you have something really broken like a Storm Spirit to bypass everyone and just get back there. It is going to be a Necrophos ban in the end, and it would have served a similar purpose to a Lone Druid, except more on the sustain end as opposed to the bulk end. Regardless, it would have been heals thrown left and right, and I actually think this is a nice ban app from Invasion. It would have been really interesting to see the Necrophos just because we don't often get to see that hero, but it's unfortunately not going to be the case this game. Oh well, maybe next time, Necrophos, maybe next time. But what do Invasion want to pick up right now? They need someone to get to the back lines. They need some sort of huge damage dealer in order to be comfortable with what they're going to be going up against, because the amount of sustain is so high. Going for an Ancient Apparition here actually seems pretty good. If you could deny the Juggernaut his healing ward, then suddenly he's a lot less of an impressive hero, but you could just go for Spectre instead. Alright, so Invasion, they're prepped for the late game. Now, this is an incredibly risky pick. The Spectre is a hero that needs farm. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. If you don't get farm on your Spectre, if you don't get a lot of space, most likely you're going to be punished and you're not going to have a good time. But if that Spectre does get farm, then she'll be able to tear through the likes of Juggernaut, Nature's Prophet, DK in the late game. The keyword in that was that, key phrase I guess, was late game. Because Spectre doesn't really do much before then. And when you know you're going to be pushed by Juggernaut Healing Ward, DK, and Nature's Prophet, what can Spectre do about this? What can anyone from Invasion actually do about this in order to stop this incoming push? Again, they don't have any AoE, and normally you do need some sort of AoE in order to clear out the Nature's Prophet treants and to pull them off, and with the Clinks as the last pick, I like the hero. I don't know if I like it in this situation. It's a strong hero regardless, especially seeing the Spectre up on the other end. The Clinks is going to let Insidious get a lot more kill potential, because right now they are kind of light on stuns, so they need either stuns or a lot of burst, and burst is exactly what Clinks brings to the table. If he gets a quick Orchid, then Invasion is going to be hunted down one after another, and every single time a Clinks gets a pick off or even plays a little bit aggressively, it's going to be Invasion who are forced to play defensively, and then Insidious are going to take that opportunity to take towers, or Roshans, or both. So I would think overall, I would favor Insidious's lineup just a little bit more. They have a little bit more of a focused game plan. They have a lot more pushing power, and it's pushing power that's not going to be responded to by the Invasion side. If Invasion, by some miracle, get to the late game, then Spectre is going to reign supreme. Not much that Insidious heroes could do about a late game Spectre. And in order to get to that late game, it's going to involve a Shadow Demon Mirana that's super active in the early stages, a Viper dominating his lane, a Centaur dominating his lane as well. It's a lot of things that have to go right for Invasion if they actually want to do well in this game, because they just need to get an early game advantage and or not lose any early game advantage to the Insidious side. And that's difficult to do with the heroes that they have. That being said, let's go over what heroes they do have and who's playing what. Holy crap, Spectre. That is just the weirdest crap of all time. She's like covered in spikes and stuff. Look at this. Who thought this would be a good idea? She's like Kerrigan. It's like the Queen of Blades right here. This is the weirdest gear I have ever seen on a Spectre. She actually looks like a Zerg unit. That's freaking weird, man. Okay, well, the Spectre is going to be played by FZ. ADTR is going to be handling the support Mirana with OK on the Shadow Demon. Kasakimba is going to be playing the Viper, and that leaves Ghost on the Centaur Warrunner. All four of these heroes having nice regular cosmetics, and then you have the weird Spectre. On the Insidious side, we got Peloson just loading up into the game as a Skywrath Mage. Chibix going to be handling the Juggernaut. Ysera going to be appropriately, once again, handling the DK. Shagosaurus is going to be on the Nature's Prophet. That leaves Chu on the Clinks. You know, I've actually seen Ysera play DK probably a lot more than I've seen any other player. I'm not sure if that's because his name is Ysera, but it seems like that's a possibility. In case anyone doesn't know, Ysera is a dragon in the Warcraft universe, and she's green. She's like in charge of the Emerald Dream or something like that. I don't know, I've never played World of Warcraft. I know that might make me a bad gamer, but it's something that is true. But I know it regardless, because I'm a good nerd, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this one, but Ysera unfortunately doesn't keep up with the theme and keeps his ultimate at level 1, which would be sweet just for thematic reasons. Wouldn't really help you win games, but I mean, Ice the Flavor points kind of make it worth it if you just keep this at level 1. Stay as the green dragon Ysera. Oh, come on, who could say no to that? That would be so cool. Either way, we are just waiting for someone to get ready. It looks like Insidious needed a couple more seconds, but With this Clinks pick, it does mean that the Juggernaut is going to be played as support. Concussive shot into a spin is pretty good. It's not the best, but it will get kills, assuming the enemies are on the softer end. If you could go for a Spectre, maybe you get the kill, but again, that's going to be really hard, just because they have to deal with a tanky Centaur, so getting the spin on him is probably not going to get the kill. Tanky Viper, getting a spin on him probably isn't going to get the kill. Spectre's fairly vulnerable to that, as is Mirana, but they both have ways of getting out. Spectral Dagger for the extra movement speed, ADTR with the leap, and OK with the bubble. So getting kills with the support Juggernaut is going to be difficult. It's not necessary that he gets kills in support Juggernaut. He can do a lot without that much golden experience, but it certainly does help, as he is leading the charge, wanting to place down a very aggressive Observer Ward to block off a couple camps. He will be completely spotted, and it looks like he will not be doing anything of the sort right now. However, the rest of his team right behind him. This is a fight that Insidious want to take. They want to get a concussive shot right off the bat, and Chibix is in a perfect position to do so. They're drawing them in. Concussive not being thrown just yet. And it looks like we're going to just chill. Invasion, they're not going to be feeling pretty comfortable in this area, as they are up against a whole ton of heroes. ADTR might know that this Observer Ward is here. Juggernaut might have slipped away, but I think ADTR is going to deward this. Well, first they're going to go for Palasa, and the dagger is going to come from the side. Concussive shot now onto OK as the Scarith gets put into a bubble. Arrow's going to line up onto Palasan, and he's going to start being brought upon by FCFC, but it's going to be OK to get the first blood before the Scarith Mage goes down. Huge pickup from the Insidious side. Trading a support for a support is ordinarily going to be a wash, but if you get first blood, then that of course puts it into your favor. If you get a first blood on Juggernaut, that means he's that much closer to upgraded boots, and that upgrade is just so crucial. I'm sure I don't have to tell you guys. The additional movement speed that you get from phase boots is just such a big pickup, and even if he doesn't want to go for that, he could be happy with the fact that he has brown boots, and he'll be able to spin down people very easily, and then he could go for a quick bottle. Because when you go for a support Juggernaut like this, you expect to have a lot of roaming. That means you could take advantage of the two runes. Have the Juggernaut go to the bottom rune, have Ysera go up to the top rune, and then, generally you do get at least one rune going for your team. Hopefully you get both, but it's sometimes a little bit hard to line up. So I wouldn't mind seeing a bottle on Juggernaut. It's actually just a good item on Juggernaut, no matter what position you're running him in. It is a little bit expensive if you're running him as core, but it's still going to help him quite a bit as far as spamming out his spins and helping out with the healing ward spam as well. Could be incredibly useful no matter what. Looks like the Observer from the Dire was dewarded. Actually, quite a bit of dewarding from Insidious. Juggernaut still in the area, just trying to get that block off. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too slow. This sentry placed right on the tree. That's actually really close to blocking off that camp. But on the bottom lane, we have Shagasaurus. Got tagged with an arrow. Bubbled to be set up, and it's another kill for the Mirana this time, going the way of Invasion. Nature's Prophet is usually going to be fine in these sorts of situations, but he will occasionally drop deaths, and that's really something unavoidable. If he gets put into a bubble, he needs the treants to be at the perfect spot in order to take that arrow hit, or else he's just going to go down, and he's not exactly the hero that you want to have being pressured right now, because he's so vulnerable to that arrow combination. He's not tanky, and although he has boots, it's most certainly not going to be enough in order to help him sustain this lane. So bottom lane, it's not surprisingly going to be won pretty handily by Invasion. That being said, Ghost up on the top lane has jack all. He has 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, whereas the Clinks is just farming away happily. That's pretty much what the Clinks does. He's just going to be dominating the lane, and versus Centaur, it's a very easy lane for the Clinks. The Searing Arrow harassment is pretty much never ending, and Centaur, though he may be durable, though he may be eventually getting, oh my god, I missed another one, though he may be getting eventually Tranquil Boots, it's not enough for right now, as looks like just another easy setup. Disruption, Curse into Arrow, and this time it was Juggernaut who wasn't actually able to spin out of that. So it looks like the arrow hit him, it was right on top of the bubble when the bubble burst. And Juggernaut going down for free, hasn't really been doing anything at all, really. I would expect Juggernaut to be stacking up a couple of camps for the Dragon Knight as well as for himself. Ysera taking quite a bit of damage. He took an arrow over on the mid lane. The damage might be enough to kill him off. With the poison attack, it will be. That's going to be an easy kill for Invasion. However, here comes a Juggernaut. Here comes an Nature's Prophet. Leap out from the Mirana. Trying to stay safe. One right click. Going to drop her to 3 HP. Now the spin onto Kesakimba. He doesn't have any corrosive skin, but it looks like this Juggernaut will have enough damage. Yes, he will. And now Shagasaurus in a little bit of trouble as well. Okay, has teleported in. Going to put him in the bubble. And a couple more Shadow Poison stacks. But Shagasaurus still alive for now. Shadow Poison will not kill him off. Although the illusions. Shagasaurus, move! Oh, yes, he's going to survive. Holy crap, that would have been embarrassing. But it looks like he is going to live. The Mirana also just barely going to live as well. If you died there, Shagasaurus, because you died to Disruption Illusions, Oh man, that would have been hilariously awful. That would have been terrible, but he lives. Mirana, unfortunately for Insidious, does live as well, as that could have been an easy kill. I think maybe Nature Prof getting a little bit unlucky with this high-low roll. As you can see, 50 to 64. Maybe he rolled 50. If he rolled 64, that would have been good. If he rolled 53, that would have been good. But unfortunately, it's going to be Mirana escaping. Not really a huge kill, but she does have 202. A level 3 Mirana. Getting a kill on her at this stage in the game is always going to be very useful. But ultimately, score stands 4-2. As Insidious, they do lose their Dragonite, which is pretty bad, and now Ysera's going to start stacking up some of these camps. Really, I would like to see Juggernaut be doing this. He does have phase boots, so obviously he's going to be inclined to play a little bit more aggressively. Double damage rune, not exactly what you want in your Juggernaut, but he's going to grab it anyway. So we do see a smoke up on top lane, as OK and ADTR looking for a little bit of blood. On Clinks, they have 1 sentry, 2 sentries, and that should be enough to kill him off. That being said, Clinks is a hard one to actually nail down. He does have average movement speed in 300, and the Skeleton Walk giving him a little bit more. Running into Peloson, that's a good one as well. Concussor Shot's going to fly. Now the arrow with the curse, nailing that Skywrath Mage to the floor, and that's going to be yet another kill for the Shadow Demon. That was actually, I believe, a kill by the Illusions. But either way, Invasion, they are making this comp work. I said that if they had a great early game, then they'll be doing a lot better in this game, buying a lot of farm time for the Spectre. It's exactly that's happening as Kesekimba allowing a little bit of trouble. The spin is there from Chibix, but he does burn out the DD rune in the process. Concussor Shot going to solidify the kill over on mid as OK does teleport in. We'll get the kill onto the Juggernaut. We'll get experience rather, and now OK getting a little bit of benefit, although blocked by the healing ward. He's going to go down. Yes, this is going to kill him off. Slow birds. There he goes. 104 damage. Going to kill him off. Juggernaut Micro is the real deal. It does go down in the end, but the rest of his team over on mid lane as Insidious are fighting back. They don't really have quite enough to get this push going comfortably just yet. Level 6 DK is really a necessity. And FCFC has kind of been doing his own thing over on the bottom lane. Chibik's going to get a full-on level 2 spin, bring the Spectre down to half HP, but this is a level 4 Juggernaut versus level 6 Spectre. Getting that kill is going to be difficult without some support, and here comes the support. Skywrath Mage in the area. Ancient Seal Amplification with another spin can and will be the death of FC if it all lands. But this Observer Ward is there. A plus one smoked up though, so FC doesn't know about this. Juggernaut's going to come in with the Concussor Shot and the Ancient Seal and the spin damage. FC is going to be put into the blender. Rest in peace, Sweet Spectre. That's going to be another easy kill for Insidious. Smoke being used just for Peloson. He knew that this area was warded, so he was sure to dodge it. If the Spectre saw that coming, not a chance for survival. She does have Haunt, so she could have potentially panic haunted out. But unfortunately, Ancient Seal also silences and amplifies the magic damage over on mid lane. OK, setting up for him an arrow from the side. Ysera's going to clip by that one. He doesn't have backup to bail him out of this. He's going to go down. Another kill for Shadow Demon. Now FCFC going to throw a blind dagger, trying to hit Peloson. Not going to happen as FC now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Here comes Chibix, forced to spin out, but the right click damage is pretty large, and he is going to go down. That's a level 2 Nether Toxin. Yes, it is. Just enough damage. Here comes a whole swarm of Treants just to mess with the invasion side, but they lose 2 heroes. Losing the DK, really bad. Losing the Juggernaut, acceptable, but losing Peloson, not too good. What are you doing there, bro? I don't really know what the plan was there for the Skywrath Mage, but I can tell you one thing. Whatever that plan was, it wasn't a good one. 9-5 as Invasion maintain their kill advantage in this game, having a slight net worth lead and slight experience, but for the most part, this game is relatively even. However, Spectre's still not being shut down by quite enough, as Ysera and Chibix going to go dive deep for the Spectre, who does not have Haunt. They should know that she's there. Oh, now they definitely know she's there. I think they could just comfortably leave her there as they take the tower, or they could send Chibix and just spin her down. Dagger off to the side, and FZ is off to freedom. To freedom, FC. It looks like he will make it away, but the tower not going to be as lucky, unfortunately, as between the Dragon Form and the Treants, they will take that down. Meantime, Chu, kind of the PvE player on this game, he's been going for a Soul Ring, has a Hand of Midas picked up, relatively new item there, so he's going to be farming away, and Centaur's also been playing PvE, however, not exactly the same rates. I mean, there's 47 CS on him, on the Clinks, 18 on the Centaur, so, you know, you could count the difference right there. Ghost, as predicted, not having a great time as Clinks actually can't get any assassinations done right now. Again, he has to find people isolated if he wants to get those picks, but he's going to get quite a bit of farm, and when you get a Hand of Midas this early on as Clinks, you're guaranteed your Orchid, and you're guaranteed more damage items, more survivability items down the line. So Insidious, if this does go to a late game, and if their Dragonite gets a lot of farm, if their Nature Prophet and Clinks all get a lot of farm, then suddenly Spectre is a hero that, although is going to be terrifying, is going to be easily dealt with, or is going to be possible to deal with, let's say. Not too easy, since Spectre is holding on to not that much gold, actually. 53 gold, and she's bought up phase boots. It's a good item to go for as Spectre, incredibly useful for survival, but it's not the straight up Radiance Rush. I guess she figures my tower dropped, I won't get enough farm or enough space to get that fast Radiance. I might as well get a couple of intermediate items first. Going for the Sage's Mask, kind of weird, but we'll see if she actually wants to turn that into something. I mean, if we take a quick look at what she could possibly want, I'm inclined to think it's just a Ring of Basilius, although she has a couple of options, Medallion being the big one. So, you know, either Medallion or Ring of Basilius should be the pickup for Spectre with the Sage's Mask, but you generally don't want to have Sage's Mask early on as Spectre. She's pretty dumb, and the mana regen is pretty useless on her, so it has to be built into something. I expect a Ring of Aquila, and then probably Drums. She's probably going to go for that intermediate item build, and just going to delay anything really large, and she might even completely skip the Radiance and just go for the likes of Diffusal Blade, maybe even a Crimson Guard. It's not a terrible item to go for on Spectre. Just possibilities for her, and she's going to need a lot more farm, because the farm is being picked up a little bit quicker on the Insidious's core on the Clinks, but everyone else on Insidious kind of falling behind. DK is actually not having a great time at all. 14 for 1. As expected, it's a good matchup for the Viper, but not usually by this much. It looks like a gank attempt by the Radiant. They're going to bring in an Invisible Viper. Chibix is not going to be any wiser. Now the Stampede onto Chew with the Haunt in as well. Dust is there, and Clinks is as good as dead. Chibix going to get a nice long spin onto Ghost, and they get a stun to Kesagimba. That's going to be the death of the Centaur, and that's probably going to be the death of the Viper as well. But 2 for 2 is the score so far in this trade. 2 cores for corner support. ADTR getting it sprouted up, but leaps down to the low ground, is going to survive. That was a lot of support being brought in from Insidious very, very quickly. And with this Dragon Form being used, they could put a little bit of damage onto this tier 1 tower. Not the most. Actually, I think they probably can get it down. I don't think Invasion are going to try to defend this one. It'll be unnecessarily risky to do so. But overall, you could see a very minor advantage for Insidious there, getting kills on more important heroes. Ysera going to dodge the arrow over on top lane. Here comes the Treant army, as well as the sustained damage from the poison. Also from the side, we have Juggernaut coming around. OK has a double damage rune, gonna get the bubble onto Chew. Teleportation coming in from the Centaur, but Ysera's still in the Dragon form. Mass teleportation coming in as Chew gonna get stunned up immediately, and he is going to be brought down. Yes, he will, but the Centaur gives his life in exchange for that Clinks. Chibix off to the side, gets tagged with some poison, has an Omni Slash and Healing Ward. I don't think he's gonna be able to survive though. It's gonna be very close. Shadow Poison won't kill him off, and it looks like Keswick doesn't have the chasing power to kill off this Juggernaut. Still, the tower does survive at the end. It is only a 1-for-1 trade. Clinks going down. Pretty bad for Insidious, but at least they get something out of that. Slowing down the Blink Dagger on Centaur is going to be crucial for Insidious if they want this Clinks to survive and to have a truly good game. So it's a trade that is relatively even, though I think it's going to benefit Invasion just slightly more. Barely, though. Like, hardly at all. Chibix and Peloson, they're smoked up, and they're looking for the Spectre once again. I like to see teams doing this. Go for the Spectre and never, ever let up. Use smoke if you have to. Because if FCFC gets silenced before she gets a dagger off, then the Spectre is just going to die. Especially since there's an Omni Slash. Is there a Mystic Flare? Yes, there is a Mystic Flare. Chibix and Peloson waiting for FC, and well, now they see her. There are no observers in the area. I think these two supports are capable of getting this kill if they get a right angle. There's FC. No silence just yet. Where the hell is the Scarth Mage? They use Omni Slash. It's not going to do jack, though. Mystic Flare also going to whiff. Stampede being used. That was the worst gank attempt I have ever seen. FCFC, easy teleportation out. Nothing to interrupt that. I don't know why you use an Omni Slash there. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, guys. It's like, hey, Spectre with a creep wave. Let's Omni Slash her. That'll be good. But Spectre gets to survive. Probably, in all honesty, shouldn't be able to survive that. If the concussive shot and silence was there, then it would have been great. But the Scarth Mage, without the phase boot advantage that Chibix has, was falling a little bit behind. So Chibix kind of jumping the gun there and kind of blew that whole thing. Regardless, it is going to be Spectre still farming up for a couple of, actually, urns. So it looks like the Spectre wants to be a little bit more aggressive in the early stages. And usually you see urn on heroes that are going to be making very frequent rotations. Spectre not exactly that hero. If she rotates out, what is she going to do? Phase boot people to death? That's probably not going to do that much. So this urn I don't expect is going to have a very large impact. It's nice sustain for sure, but it's only sustain if you actually fill it up. And it seems unlikely that that's actually going to happen. 12 minutes in, 13 minutes in, another tower does go down. Still Ysera in the green dragon form. Going to be a 1-for-1 tower trade so far. So now the tower is going to take a little bit of heat. They're going to back off, though. Insidious. I think they probably could have gotten away with pushing that tower a little bit more aggressively. I guess they figure we don't exactly know where anyone is. They're going to be rotating up from the top lane most likely. We don't want to be caught at that angle, so they're going to instead back off and try to go for this Spectre, who is salving up. She's going to be very healthy by the time they find her, and Chibix is going to run between a whole bunch of heroes. He really wishes he has Zombie Slash here, but here we go. Concussive shot onto FC. Stampede is there, so the spin is not going to be doing jack. Over to the side, Peloson slowed down, and looks like Spectre will slip away. Haunt is going to be used up. Ghost going to blink forward, killing off the Skywrath Mage. Ysera is still in the Dragon form for a little while longer, but between the Moonlight Shadow as well as the Stampede for Invasion, it's just so hard to kill off that Spectre unless you have DK who's opening the fight. And I think this might be one of those games where you have your DK rush up to a Blink Dagger, because if that Dragon Tail doesn't open, then the Spectre is just going to run away. There's really nothing you can do about this. They're going to go for, looks like, books and drums and all these items that are just good, but not good at killing Spectre. So Ysera definitely going to need to pick up something in order to open up those fights, because if his Dragon Tail isn't what starts it, then Invasion are just going to get away with Stampede, Moonlight Shadow, and all that unhappy stuff. FC over up on top lane, going to go strong on Shagasaurus, who doesn't have a TP, doesn't have a scroll, or his regular skill. Shagasaurus kind of making a crucial mistake here. This is going to cost him his life. FC is going to get more earn charges off of this one. Here comes the Skywrath Mage with the Clinks right behind him. FC might get body blocked a little bit, but has a dagger to run through the trees, and Chu doesn't have an angle here. Here comes Ghost. There's a dust slowing down the Clinks just a little bit. Silence onto Ghost, but I think the Clink's still in danger. Ghost isn't going to chase this one, and it looks like he will just back off. But it's very rare that you see a Nature's Prophet with no TP scroll and no teleportation skill. So he just kind of voluntarily threw himself away. Now, okay, gonna get Slash, but once again, it's just a Shadow Demon. It's hard to get that kill. Spin might get the kill regardless. However, Demonic Purge as well as Stampede. Chivic's now gonna be kited. Gonna try to TP out of this one, but the damage is gonna be damning, and he's going to go down. I don't know where I was going with that. Ysera, also on the top lane, is going to be going down. I was going to say too damn high, but then I said damn, and then I just couldn't go anywhere with that. Okay, is going to be brought down by Chu in the end. Keskiemba with the haster and trying to chase that Clinks down. Still does have vision of him, but getting a kill on this Clinks is really difficult. He's just way too fast. Overall, Invasion, they lose. This is not accurate at all. They lose the Shadow Demon, but they get a whole bunch of kills elsewhere. A 3-for-1 in favor of Invasion, and Spectre, now with the drums completed, is going for a very, very heavy intermediate item build. The Urn kind of working out just because Insidious are honestly giving themselves over to the Spectre. Not exactly what you should be doing, but 318 on the Spectre, and her net worth should be pretty high. Third place, in fact, behind the Friendly Viper with that mech, which was, you know, pretty crucial at saving the Shadow Demon. He did die in the end, but what are you going to do? Shadow Demons are going to die, and that's just the circle of life. So 15 minutes into the game, Invasion having a nice little advantage at this stage. Not that much net worth, a good amount of experience, however. Again, the Clinks having that instant kill with the Death Pact plus the Hand of Midas means he's going to be farming pretty quickly, but he's actually nowhere near his Orchid. At this time, with a safe lane farming Clinks, you should have, or maybe with the Hand of Midas you don't have necessarily the completed Orchid, but you should have very, very close to it. And right now, he has 1 Oblivion Staff. That's okay, but you would expect 2 by now, at the very least, if not having it done. So Clinks is actually not going to have that much of an impact in this game, I don't think. His damage is always going to be high. That's pretty much unavoidable. But if you get in his face with the Centaur, with the Spectre, then Clinks actually doesn't have that much freedom to do what he really wants, and that's sit on the outskirts and just try to get as much damage as he can without drawing any attention. Ysera gonna get initiated upon. Stampede being used as well, kind of unnecessarily, but they get the kill regardless. Again, the Blink Dagger into Hoof Stomp into Arrow combination. It's a combination that opens up later in the game, but it's still an extremely potent one. Centaur with level 9, he has all of his damaging skills maxed out in a Blink Dagger. Really, Ghost doesn't need anything else in order to be an absolute powerhouse. Landing a level 4 Marana Arrow, also not too shabby either. Now they're going to smoke up and look for more. They might run into Shagasaurus, who is fortunately going to finish clearing off this Ancient instead of starting it. But he's still in trouble. If a Disruption lands, then this could be the death. This is actually a really weird Shadow Demon build. I think with the amount of setup they have, Soul Catcher would have been better. But it's always going to be doing a lot of damage, so I guess can't really fault him that much. They're going to run Stranger Chibix. So if Stomp is there, Haunt is there as well. Demonic Purge onto him, but now their cover is blown. They have to run away. Peloson going to teleport right into this. Arrow is going to fly. Will connect onto Peloson. Shadow Poison will kill him off. He just ran straight into that. Not a good idea, Skywrath. You want to avoid those. You don't want to get hit by that. Pro tips from the pros right there, guys. And now the tower is going to take a little bit of pressure. Insidious, where's Insidious's heroes? They have Clinks over on top lane. They have Nature's Prophet trying to split push down bottom. This tower is going to survive for now, but Really, DK with power treads only can't do much about this. Juggernaut has more net worth than the DK? Yes, he does. That's almost unheard of. Your core solo mid DK, he's supposed to be slowed down by the Viper. That's the part of the plan, but not by this much. Now, this is an Omni Slash that I could get behind if they get a lockdown in FC, but Clinks unfortunately doesn't have an Orchid, can't stop that dagger, and even if he goes right now, won't have enough damage. So unfortunately for them, they get nothing over on top lane. They lose the tower over on mid. Invasion suddenly have a really nice advantage. Blowing up this tower is going to give them a lot more map control. They could feel comfortable taking this last tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, already at half HP. And that could be a pretty feasible goal for them to take. And the more towers you take, the less confident Clinks is going to have at roaming the map. He is going to still roam the map. That's pretty much unavoidable. But if he has no towers, if he has no potential teammates to back him up, then he's going to be a lot more cautious in starting the fights, especially since he still does not have an Orchid. He has Oblivion Staff number 2. It should be a 20-minute Orchid, which is, again, not the worst time for Clinks, but it's going to be 20 minutes where the Clinks is pretty much doing nothing for his entire team. Then they're going to need to make up for that in a big way. Going for Roshan now is Insidious as they go right in with the Treants and the Necro units. This should be a relatively easy Roshan, assuming they don't get jumped right here. Invasion, they're going to throw an arrow though. They see this, and Insidious, they cannot fight this anymore. This is not where they want to be up against the Centaur. Fortunately for them, Centaur's all the way over on the top lane. Shadow Poison spam, they're just trying to scare them out. Chibik's now running out with the Drum Charge. That's Drum Charge for the most part wasted. Looking for an Omni Slash, but now the Moonlight Shadow is up. Chibix does have a gem though, so the Moonlight Shadow not going to be doing too much. Roshan constantly dropping lower. FC coming around from the side, looking to jack the Roshan. He's going to dive right in. Stampede is there. Roshan is going to die, and Clinks picks it up. Now the fight breaks out. Jump in from Ghost. Instantly going to get Dragon Tail. Shaggysaurus though takes too much damage. He's going to go down. They lose the Aegis immediately, and Ysera also dropping very low. He's going to be hit with a Hoof Stomp, as is Chu. I think this is going to be easy cleanup. Omni Slash off to the side will kill off the Mirana, dropping her gem, but that's not really enough of a lead right now. They lose 2 heroes plus the Aegis. Actually, I thought they were going to lose a lot more. Somehow Chu manages to get away because I guess there was just no True Sight in there anymore from Invasion. Unfortunately for them, their Mirana was in the back lines, and she was the one carrying all the True Sight. So Clinks gets to slip away. Blossom was off to the side. Chibix was off to the left. But really, that was the fight that I expected coming out from Invasion. They jumped into that Roshan pit, and Insidious were kind of asking for that one. Now Peloson is in a ton of trouble. He's going to silence up Ghost, but I don't think it's going to be enough. With an Aghanim Scepter on Viper, the cast range is huge. Going to drop a Mystic Flare because why not, but it's going to be another kill for Kesekimba. And now they're going to go for the mid lane. This is just Invasion at such a perfect place in this game. Their Spectre is contributing a lot more than Spectres ordinarily do, and though she doesn't have that many items right now, it doesn't really even matter. The fact of the matter is that Invasion, they're ahead with a Spectre 20 minutes into the game. And if you could get yourself into that situation, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be easily won from there on out. FCFC going to get jumped. He's going to most likely drop as the Orchid is going to be pretty high amounts of damage and won't kill him off outright, but one more Searing Arrow will do the job. Invasion, they lose their Spectre, who again isn't really even an integral part of the team. Yes, it's important to have her farm, but even if she doesn't, it's not a big deal. As Ysera is going to be jumped over on mid, going to get annihilated. Here comes Shaggysaurus as well as Chibix. OK is going to put himself into a bubble. There's a Mystic Flare in 10 seconds. Ghost, pretty durable with the Force Staff and the Blink Dagger. He'll be able to blink out of there and be just fine as Peloson takes another Viper Strike. Kesekimba is going to get a double kill off of this. Is there anything more? Yes, Ghost jumps in for a 2-man Hoof Stomp. Chibix is down. Shaggysaurus getting clipped with an arrow. Beautifully done by ADTR. That's 4 down, an ultra kill for Kesekimba. And now this tower is going to go down, and now they can try to force buybacks by breaching the high ground. There's only Clinks alive, and it'll be pretty much a bluff. They can't get the tower, but they could certainly try to do something, or they could just fall back and play it slow and safe. Don't mind that either. Again, they have a Spectre on their team, so this Viper is going to be absolutely terrifying. He's already got the Aghanim Scepter, 21 minutes of the game with the mech, which is an outrageous amount to farm for the Viper. In fact, he's on top of the net worth chart. What does he go for next? Does he go for a whole bunch of tanking items, or does he go for some damage? I wouldn't mind seeing something like an Assault Cuirass on him, actually. Block all the damage from the Clinks and make sure that Insidious don't have any great ways of coming back into this. It's not the most common item on Viper, but when you're swimming in this much gold, you can pretty much get whatever you want. So he could flaunt his moolah by picking up a high-ticket item. Get all the Viper babes. There we go. Hyperstone. Come on, Kesek. Come on, man. Buy something. They're going to haunt in. They see Chu. Stampede as well as Dust going to land. Arrow not being thrown just yet. Clinks is very quick, but a Force Staff forward. Double Edge onto Chu. Healing Ward is there, though, and they can't kill that off. Now Ghost can take a full-on Omni Slash. He will survive for a little bit, but not long enough. Moonlight Shadow a little bit too late to save that Centaur, and Insidious, they come back with a big fight and a big pick off. They're going to find okay potentially, but nothing to interrupt that. Again, the DK doesn't have anything. Literally, this guy is working with items from like 10 minutes into the game. But killing off the Centaur is a kill on the Centaur, and that was Stampede down as well as Moonlight Shadow, so Insidious going to use their pushing power with the level 2 Dragon form as well as the Clink Searing Arrows as well as Shagosaurus' army in order to take down this tower. In Invasion, I don't think they could fight this. I don't think they should even try. Should be an easy tower pickup for them. Keswick's in the area. He's going to start spamming out some Viper Strikes onto Chibix and the arrow onto Ysera. Tower's going to be brought down, but here comes Centaur with the Blink Stomp. He's going to get silenced immediately, though. Dragon Tailed as well. The Bubble's going to save him from the Mystic Flare, however, so the Centaur's still going to be relatively healthy. But Kesagemba with the damage that he's putting out, the Stain Poison damage, is going to tag Chibix with all of it. Spin is not going to help you enough. He's going to try to TP out of here, but the damage is going to be enough. Yes, he will get the kill. Now the arrow going to fly down south. Okay, is going to be picked off. Shagosaurus is going to try to TP out of there. Double Edge not going to happen from Ghost. Actually, it did happen, but it wasn't enough damage. Palasan completely out of mana, doesn't have a Force Staff or a TP or anything. He's going to be chased down by Ghost, and the only chance for him is hiding. Oh ho ho! What a sneaky bastard. Skywrath Mage. Just going to chill and then TP out. Now, that was pretty sweet, but if this fight happened literally 10 seconds later, then Skywrath Mage would have gone down, because the only reason he got away was because of nighttime vision. And that's a narrow escape if I ever did see one. But it's going to be the survival of the Skywrath Mage. Shagosaurus and Chu are going to try to take this tier 2 tower trade, and it looks like they will take that tier 2 tower pretty quickly, as FC and ADTR both come in. Going to try to go for the Clinks, but his sustained physical is way too high, and he's way too fast, so he's going to get away very easily. Tower does go down in the bottom lane in the end. It's a tier 2 for a tier 1, and Insidious make a really nice trade, a desperately needed trade at this stage, because they are not facing up not the hugest of disadvantages. They're still keeping up with net worth, but it seems like they just don't have anything, because the DK is just so completely useless right now. He's pretty much just a walking Dragon Tail. Finally, he has a Blink Dagger, but he's going to get jumped on by Ghost as well as Kesagemba. The Stain damage onto Ysera is going to be enough with FC coming in. That's going to be the death of the Dragon Knight. And now Shagosaurus, also in a lot of trouble. He's going to tag with the Viper Strike, and he's going to go down as well. Omni Slash onto all three of these heroes. Level 2, not going to be doing enough, as Chibix is now going to be on the run. FZ going to be chased down by these Necro units. Looks like they all will survive, and now Chibix going to get hit with the Demonic Purge. We'll go through that BKB, and he's going to pop. There he goes, 3 for 1, and I think that should be it, as Chu off to the side, potentially looking for a snipe onto FC. He's not going to find him, as the Clinks having no part of that fight. This is not an accurate fight recap, guys. I don't know why. I mean, it says 1 death on the Juggernaut. Really? Clearly there's been more than that. Man, fight recap should be a nice, useful tool, but instead it's completely garbage. What a shame. So, yeah, 3 for 1 in favor of Invasion, extending their kill score just a little bit more. They're kind of light on objectives. Again, Invasion are fighting very well, but they can't really push that great, at least until they take a very, very convincing fight, you know, like a 5 for 0 or something like that. But for the most part, they're doing just fine. They have Blink Dagger, Force Staff on Centaur. It's pretty much where you want to be at this stage of the game. Force Staff on Shadow Demon, it's better than where you want to be. And Spectre, 26 minutes, completing up that Radiance. It was a slow one, it was an indirect one, but hell, getting it in the end, not going to matter, because Spectre, Radiance, we all know the power of this hero with that item. Haunt is going to be destroying the likes of the Skywrath Mage, and even the Clinks to a lesser degree, once she pops off that Haunt. And with the Urn charges, she'll be able to sustain that damage and really just get those kills pretty easily. Crucially, the Viper, he's still sitting on quite a bit of gold, so Kesagemba can be doing some serious hurt later on, going to possibly run to Chibix. Arrow's going to be thrown, won't hit onto anyone unless he voluntarily runs into it. 4,400 gold now on the Viper, and what do you buy if you're a Viper? I guess damage is always going to be useful. Tankiness is going to be useful. A Crimson Guard wouldn't actually be terrible, but I think it might be a little bit too late, so I still am on board with, okay, Heart is good. Heart is fine, you can't really fault a Heart, but I think Assault Cuirass would have been a lot more helpful, because Viper really doesn't have that much to fear with an Assault Cuirass. He doesn't have much fear with the Heart either, I suppose, but either way, it's a lot of survivability, and it's going to help him survive, but Assault Cuirass would have helped everyone survive, so sharing is caring, and he's not sharing at all. Stupid Viper, you're supposed to be sharing. They gave him all the kills, 20 participations out of 30, and he's not sharing any wealth. I guess with mech is enough, right? You don't have to share everything, you just have to share some things. Top lane is being pushed by Invasion. Insidious trying to make a push happen on the bottom lane of their own. Again, they don't really have that much fighting potential. DK with some initiation is useful and everything, but it's not exactly going to be game winning because he doesn't have any damage or anything to really follow up with. Juggernaut is in fact doing more damage at this point. Level 2 Omni Slash, soon to be Aghanim'd upgraded, although not that soon. Only the point booster on him. If Klinks goes down, then I think that's just a lost fight for Insidious, because if Klinks goes down, then they don't have any more damage. Top lane's going to be bowled over, and it looks like Invasion want to go for a little bit more. Centaur, still with that Blink 4-staff combo, has a gem as well, so they should know if Klinks is in the area, and they will not let that gank happen. Yet going for this is seemingly a little bit too risky. They're going to teleport out. Looks like they'll all make it out safe and sound. Go for the bottom lane tier 2. I mean, they took down the top lane so easily. You might as well just go for that other side lane. Should be an easy pickup for them. And just get Spectre, more space, more farm. Looks like Crimson's going to be picked up by Ghost a little bit down the line. So there's going to be a Crimson Guard on the field after all. Not really mirrored by the Insidious side. They have Necro level 3. But that's pretty much it as far as their damage output is concerned. This DK should be going for an Assault Cuirass of his own, helping him survive against the Spectre right-click damage as well as the Viper, but I would like to see a pipe, honestly, from Insidious. The Spectre Radiance damage is going to be all nullified once you pick that up, and the Viper is almost 100% reliant on his magic damage as well, with the level 3 Aghanim's ultimate. But either way, it's just Insidious. They are still not that far behind, 4,000, 7,500 in the Golden Experience respectively. It's manageable for sure, but just seems like they don't have anything with all their net worth. They're going to go for Roshan, and Jibix is going to get bashed down pretty hard by the big guy, and it looks like Invasion, they know about this. Arrow to throw, and it looks like Chu is in the collision course. Actually, it's going to be Roshan, but now the Stampede is out, and they have True Sight. Jibix is going to TP away and force staff up to the high ground. FC going to jump right back down to Chu, popping out the BKB. The damage, is it going to be high enough? It looks like it will be. Chu's going to use his first BKB charge, yes, and he will go down. Now the Roshan could be attempted. It's at half HP, very graciously done by Insidious, and Invasion are going to jump right in and finish this one up pretty quickly. They have Dragon Knight with a Blink Dagger potentially to jack this, but it's going to be pointless. If he does jump in and grabs it, that's great, but he dies anyway. Shagasaurus going to get put into the bubble. Here comes Ysera, going to try to grab it. He is not going to get it. Spectre picks up the Radiance and picks up the Aegis, and now Ysera and Nature's Prophet both are going to go down, and Shagasaurus is going to call GG straight after. It was a kind of a desperation move. Quite honestly, they were just so far, but they felt... I mean, the graphs don't show it. It doesn't feel like it for me, and that's really... I'm sure Insidious are feeling it the same way. They feel like they're very far behind, even though the graphs are not agreeing, which is kind of weird, but either way, it's going to be Invasion taking game number 1 in this best of 3 pretty convincingly over Insidious. They just couldn't get their push going. And when their Spectre has this much farm and your Viper has this much farm, there's not much you can do in the late game. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be moving on to game number 2 as soon as the lobby is up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around for game number 2. GG.